Back again, another Furio Watchers video. This one all about the great producer the RZA. Originally started off under the name Prince Rakeem. Obviously best known for his work with the Wu-Tang Clan. He's worked with all the individual members of the Wu as well, producing their stuff. He's also worked with a lot of other great hip hop groups over the years. Mobb Deep on the infamous album that I've shown on some of my previous videos. Many different other ones. Let's dive in, let's see what's first up.
Oh man, trouble.
And Peebles, amazing voice on her. Put a few albums out during the 70s, still going now. Quite like the way this one's been chopped. It's been sped up as well, giving it that chipmunk style to the vocals on it. Yeah, great sample. Let's have a listen to it.
Just pledge allegiance to the hip hop.
Oh baby, for heaven's sake.
King Floyd there. Probably best known for his biggest hit, Groove Me, that came out in 1970. Great track that. It's one I like getting 2 copies of on the turntables, doing a bit of beat juggling with that one. What RZA's done with this one, again, it's one of them ones that is sped up, giving it that chipmunk style to it. Fast lyrics, sped up lyrics, used on the Wu's second album. Let's have a listen.
Sir, Excalibur.
Black Ivory there, hailing from Harlem, started off in the early 70s actually as support group for Kool and the Gang on their tours. This is one of 2 samples used on Criminology track, so we'll have a check of this one and then we'll move on to the next sample that's been used. The Sweet Inspirations, another group that were from New York, actually started off as backing singers, working with people like Elvis, Aretha Franklin, Nina Simone. RZA's a big fan of the Sweet Inspirations. He's actually used them on a few other tracks as well. So let's have a look what he's done with this one.
First of all, son, beat the arson. Many brothers I be sparking and busting mad like inside the dark and call me dough snatcher. Just a brother for the rapture.
Al Green there, he has been sampled a huge amount of times as well. Actually started off spelling his name differently. It was Green with an E on the end when he first started out, and then he changed it. And he's actually been a pastor since 1976 as well. What RZA's done with this? Not really very much. Pretty much a straight up loop, but a great track, Iron Maiden track. Let's have a listen.
Sit back, jollying. My team be gaming like 3 card rallying. Drugs, Somalians, volleying. Knitted rap, stay crocheting. Hey, yo.
Henry Mancini, known for doing lots of different soundtracks, famously wrote the theme music for the Pink Panther. Quite a dark sounding piano there. All RZA's really done with that is just loop the first part of that. Again, this is used on the same album as the last one, on the Raekwon album. Let's have a check.
For what lurks is an expert that hurts the individual who tried the visual lies under, cause I strike like thunder.
Lennie Hibbert there, only ever actually put 2 albums out. That one, Creation, and then his next one called More Creation. This sample's used on a more recent track, Earl Sweatshirt featuring RZA. Let's have a listen.
99 problems all gone in that one joint, and that neck gold froze like he held it at gunpoint. I'm a bubble in the belly of the monster.
I can see the hurt.
Delores Hall, she was a singer, actress. She was actually in the first 2 seasons of Diagnosis Murder. So some of the samples RZA's used, we've said he's used that chipmunk style where he's really sped it up. This one he's done the opposite, so he's slowed down that vocal. So it actually more sounds like a male vocal on this one rather than the woman singing. So let's have a check of this.
Check out the rap kingpin, the black Jesus. I know a few sniff coke and cause seizures. Peace to half moon Caesars and all of
That Earl Klugh sample there, great guitarist. I've actually shown on another recent video when I'm on my MPC, and I've shown exactly what RZA's done with this particular sample, how he's chopped it, played it, and actually come up with this great beat for this ice cream. Let's have a listen. Willie Mitchell there, although he's a musician, he's actually also a producer. Produced a lot of records for Al Green and Peebles and other people as well. This is another great flip by the RZA, so he's taken this track, flipped it into another great track. Let's have a listen to it.
When the MCs came, tell them about their names and to perform some had.
Jerry Butler there, used to be in the band The Impressions. He was also the commissioner for Cook County in Illinois from 1985 to 2018. This is used on Method Man's album, which was the first of the Wu-Tang members to actually put out a solo album. Great use of this sample. Let's take a listen.
I came to bring the pain, hardcore from the brain. Let's go inside my astral plane, find out my mental, based on instrumental.
So that track by Koko Taylor there is actually a cover version. The original track was recorded by Howlin' Wolf. It's one of those tracks when if you separate the stereo channels, just listen to the right channel, removes most of that bass, which I think is what RZA's done there to use this and flip it into this great hip hop track. So let's have a check of it.
Yo, what up, yo? Time is running out, it's for real though. Let's connect, politic, ditto. We can trade places, get lifted in the staircase.
Herb Alpert there, probably his most famous track that's been sampled is Rise, that's used for Biggie Hypnotize. He's done a lot of music over the years, he's been sampled a lot of different times as well. This one, another great track by the Method Man. Let's have a listen.
Check it, I'm the f***ing man who the bet you. Notice that other rap styles is bogus. Dude, compared to this versatile voodoo. Give me a ticket for
So I've already talked about Al Green and the amount of tracks that have been sampled from him. I've just mentioned as well Biggie with the Herb Alpert. This is another one that's been flipped and used on a Biggie track. This was on his second album. Let's have a check.
Laugh now, cry later. I rhyme greater than the average player hater. And spectators buy my CD twice. They see me in the streets, they be like.
David Porter, musician, also a producer, produced for The Emotions. He produced the Charmel's track, that Wu-Tang sample for Cream. This particular track is quite a popular one as well. It was also sampled from a different part of it, Biggie track, Who Shot Ya? So let's have a listen to this version.
Picture bloodbaths and elevator shafts like these murderous rhymes tight from genuine craft. Check the print, swear veterans, spark the letterings.
When he goes away, hey, yeah. And don't you know that I know.
Lyn Collins, her most famous track that's been sampled probably thousands of times. Think about it. The drums have been used loads of times, many different parts of it. Great track there. What RZA's done with this sample, he's just really used the horn part of it, so he's not used the vocals. Let's see what he's done.
Lyrical shots from the Glock. Bust bullet holes on the jocks. I want the #1 spot with the science. I'm a giant. New York
Les Baxter, musician, composer, wrote over 150 movie soundtracks during his time. This one's been flipped and just used the end part of that sample as a loop. I think it works really well. Let's have a listen to it.
Yo, I jumped from the 8th floor step, hit the ground, the pound fell. Cops is coming, running through the pissy stairwells. I ain't hear nothing.
Gary Burton there, player of the vibraphone, completely self-taught at it too. Came up with his own technique of actually using 4 mallets on it instead of the normal 2. Also openly gay, came out in his 40s during the 1980s. This particular track isn't anything to do with Wu-Tang, it's actually a big pun track. So let's have a listen to it.
From off this, who the culprits that claim to be the newest? Rapping bull-ish, my rhymes get Ruger endorsements, my song boost.
Another sample here used on a track nothing to do with the Wu-Tang again. This was a Cypress Hill track off their 3rd album, Temples of Boom. Let's have a listen. Peter Nero with Theme from Love Story. That was actually a cover version. Francis Lai wrote the original. So Peter Nero put out a huge amount of albums during his time. This one is flipped and used on a group, the Gravediggaz, which RZA was a part of. He's listed as the co-producer on this with Fourth Disciple as the main producer. How much input each one of them did, no idea. But it's a great track. Let's have a listen. Donny Hathaway, great soul musician, someone that passed away really young, 33 years old when he passed away in 1979. This particular sample has been used on a track with MF Doom and the RZA. MF Doom, one of my favourite rappers, got to see him live a number of years ago. Really good concert, put on a great performance. One of my big regrets, I owned the original 12-inch of his very, very first release, and I ended up selling it quite a long time ago on eBay. Value of that 12-inch now is just gone crazy. Obviously, since MF Doom's passed away, the price has gone up. But yeah, I wish I'd actually kept on to that one. Anyway, let's have a listen to this track.
Tempted by the sins of life, the pleasures of lust, the wild imaginings that you can't discuss. Oh, the flesh is weak, it's a struggle for peace.
Cover version there of the Incredible Hulk theme. RZA's a big fan of this particular cover version album. I've shown on another video where he's taken the sample for Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With, slowed it down like crazy. This one's more of just a straight up loop, used by Killarmy. Let's have a listen.
We are the street soldiers on the dark side of the planet. I give killing orders like a lieutenant. Hit the planet Earth and explode like a human cannon. The universal author.
So that's it. That's your lot. Hope you've liked the video. Hope you're finding some of the little bits of information I'm telling you about either the artists, original artists, or about the tracks. Hope you're finding that information useful or interesting in some way. If you are, let me know. Drop a like, leave a comment. As always, thanks for watching.